We are going to discuss Ethernet in these visuals. For local area network cabling, data transmission for local area network, in what speed the data transfers for local area network. Well, a technology is used which resolves cabling issues, data transfer issues for local area network. This technology is known as Ethernet. Ethernet operates at lower layers, which are layer 2 data link layer and layer 1 physical layer. We have discussed the operation of Ethernet in our previous discussions. We will discuss Ethernet standards, what the standards provide, etc. in these visuals. So let's start our discussion on Ethernet. We are starting from the history. Well, in year 1980, the first LAN standard was issued by the combination of three vendors. Those three vendors are Digital Equipment Corporation, Intel, and Xerox. That standard then named as DICS. That DICS standard provides data transmission at 10 Mbps. Well, DICS standard uses thick coaxial cable for connectivity. I'm going to show you thick coaxial cable in this visuals but later. Well, after some years, IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, uses DICS standard, added some more features and published it as IEEE 802.3 standard. This standard is the official Ethernet standard. Usually when we talk about Ethernet standard, we actually talk about IEEE 802.3 standard because this standard is the official Ethernet standard. Well, after publishing 802.3 standard, IEEE kept on developing standards. IEEE published some advanced standards with high speed. After publishing 802.3 standard, IEEE published 802.3U, 802.3AB, 802.3AE, and even more. Well, we will discuss these standards. Let's start our discussion from IEEE 802.3 standard and let's see what development has been made by IEEE for 802.3 standard. IEEE published 802.3 standard in middle of 1980s. IEEE 802.3 standard is the official Ethernet standard. IEEE 802.3 standard, also known as Ethernet. That is the reason I mentioned Ethernet in bracket with 802.3 standard. Well, 802.3 made development in a DICS standard. IEEE 802.3 standard published with some more useful features. Well, let's discuss these developments. CSA-MA/CD. It means Carrier Sense Multiple Access with Collision Detection. Well, data transmission is a routine under Ethernet networks. While transferring the data, collisions also occur. These all things happened in Ethernet networks. We know that data transmits from one host to another under a network, but what is collisions? So let's look at an example. We will understand all this process, then we'll come back to real topic. Well, there is a road which is very narrow. At a time, only each side's traffic can pass through this road. Okay, now the traffic which is going to pass through this road has to wait for any traffic which is traveling on this road. This is how this road can be used. Well, we know that accident also happens. Under such roads, we care more. Now, as usual, an accident happened on this road. The good news is persons are saved, but cars got damaged. Now we have arranged a special force. When accident happened, the task force came the task force car came in, and the task force persons came out of their car and stopped the traffic from both the sides to travel in the road. Now they stopped this traffic for some time. They stopped the traffic to clear the road. They first stopped the traffic, then gave medical treatment to those persons, then they moved those damaged cars from the road. After clearing the road, they allow the traffic which has to travel through that narrow road. Traffic starts traveling again. Well, just remember each point of this example. Well, the data transmits using one wire pair for Ethernet network. Sending and receiving of data is processed on same one wire pair. Well, Ethernet uses CSMA CD, carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. Well, this feature CSMA CD keeps an eye on data transmission process. Whenever collisions occur, what happened is CSMA stops the data transmission. Here CSMA CD acts like a task force which arrives at the spot while discussing our example. Well, after stopping the data transmission, obviously data has to wait till this collision gets clearance. After that, well, for how much time this data transmission will remain stopped? Well, when collision occurs, a backoff algorithm also starts. This backoff algorithm will finalize when this data transmission will begin again. Now, think of those task force persons. They came out of the task force cars and start clearing the road. This backoff algorithm is a delay between collision occurrence and its clearance. When collision gets cleared, then the data transmission starts again. Now, this was CSMA/CD. Let's move towards duplexes, half duplex and full duplex. Well, data is transmitted by using two duplexes for Ethernet networks. These two duplexes are half duplex and full duplex. Well, for half duplex uses one wire pair for transmission of data. This means collisions will occur while using half duplex, and CSMA CD, carrier sense multiple access with collision detection, is used with half duplex. What we have discussed a bit earlier regarding CSMA/CD, that all applies on half duplex. The process of data transmission, collision occurrence and its clearance. Full duplex, well, full duplex uses two wire pair like this, one way out, one way in and one way out. Okay, now this means that one wire pair for sending the data and one wire pair for receiving the data, just like these two roads, one for traffic which is coming and other is for traffic which is going. Under full duplex, collision does not occur. These are the duplexes used under Ethernet networks. Now let's move towards speed. Here it is. Now the data is transmitted at 10 Mbps under 802.3 standard. Well, different cables are used for data transmission at 10 Mbps under this standard 802.3. Well, the standard gives different names to different cables. Let's discuss these cables providing 10 Mbps speed for transmission of data. At number 1, 10 base 5. It provides 10 Mbps based on thick coaxial cable. 5 means thick coaxial cable. 10 base 5 cable length could be up to 500 meters approximately. Okay, now let me show you thick coaxial cable, how it looks like. It is thick coaxial cable. Now let's move back towards our 802.3 standard. Now 10 base 2. It provides 10 Mbps speed also based on thin coaxial cable. 2 means thin coaxial cable. This cable looks same like thick coaxial cable, but this cable is thin. Well, 10 base 2 cable length could be up to nearly 200 meters. After that, 10 base T. This cable provides 10 Mbps speed based on twisted pair cable. T means twisted pair cable. This cable is the standard cable used for networking today. Well, you can see this cable, how it cables look like, how this cable looks like. Well, this is a Cat6 cable. We will discuss about this cable in detail in upcoming visuals. 10 base T cable length could be up to 100 meters. Well, with this we have covered 802.3 standard. Now let's move towards 802.3U standard. IEEE kept on developing 802.3 standard by adding features like more speed and etc. IEEE 802.3U standard was published in year 1995. This standard also known as Fast Ethernet. Let's discuss features of 802.3U standard. CSMA CD carrier sends multiple access with collision detection. 802.3U standard uses CSMA CD. We have discussed CSMA CD process a bit earlier. Same is applied for this standard. Duplexes. This standard uses both duplexes. As we have discussed, half duplex uses one wire pair for data transmission, also uses CSMA CD, whereas full duplex uses two wire pair. It does not use CSMA CD. I've also explained both these duplexes. After that, it provides 100 Mbps rate for data transmission. Well, different cables are used providing 100 Mbps speed for data transmission. 100 base TX means 100 Mbps data transmission rate based on TX cable. TX means double twisted pair cable. It is category 5 cable. The cable length could be up to 100 meters. 100 base FX. Here it is. This cable provides 100 Mbps data transmission rate based on FX cable. FX means fiber optic. It uses type 62.5/125 of multi-mode fiber optic cable. The cable length could be up to 2 kilometers for full duplex and 400 meters for half duplex connection. Well, with this we have finished 802.3U standard discussion. Now let's move towards 802.3Z and 802.3AB standard. IEEE 802.3Z standard was published in year 1998, whereas IEEE 802.3AB standard was confirmed in year 1999. Both these standards also known as Gigabit Ethernet. Well, 802.3Z and 802.3AB both use CSMA CD. These both standards also supports both duplexes. which are half duplex and full duplex. Well, the rate provided by both these standards is 1000 Mbps or 1 Gbps. Well, both these standards use different cables providing the data transmission rate of 1 Gbps. For 802.3z, number 1000 base LX. 802.3z standard provides 1 Gbps data transmission rate over LX. It is multi-mode fiber optic cable. The length of this cable providing 1 Gbps rate for transmission could be up to 550 meters. 1000 base SX. It provides same 1 Gbps rate and runs over multi-mode fiber optic cable with similar length, which is up to 550 meters. For 802.3ab standard 1000 base T and 1000 base T, 802.3ab standard provides 1 Gbps data transmission rate over double twisted pair cable category 5. The length of the cable supported is up to 100 meters. But with this we have done with 802.3z and 802.3ab standard. Let's move towards final standard, which is 802.3ae standard. Well, IEEE 802.3ae standard was published in year 2002. This standard also known as 10 gigabit Ethernet. Now 802.3ae standard does not support CSMA, CD and half duplexes. It supports full duplex only. Well, the data transmission rate is 10 Gbps for this standard. It uses these cables providing 10 Gbps data transmission rate. These are here 10 G base SR. Under 802.3ae standard, it provides 10 Gbps data transmission rate. 10 G base SR provides 10 Gbps data transmission rate over multi-mode fiber optic cable. Length supported is up to 500 meters. 10 G base LX4 uses multi-mode fiber optic type of cable for providing 10 Gbps data transmission rate. The length which is supported is up to 500 meters. Well, with this we have almost done. Now let's move towards IEEE 802 standards. These are, well, apart from IEEE 802.3 standards, there are a number of other standards. As you can see the list here: 802.2, 802.3, 802.4, .5 and .11. Well, 802.2. IEEE 802.2 standard describes logical link control. We have discussed logical link control in data encapsulation visuals. Well, 802.3, we have discussed 802.3 standard in detail a bit earlier. IEEE 802.3 standard describes MAC sublayer of data link layer and physical layer. 802.3 layer standard also referred to as Ethernet. After that, 802.4. This standard describes FDDI, Fiber Distributed Data Interface. FDDI transmits data in local area network. After that, 802.5. IEEE 802.5 standard describes ring topology. This standard also referred to as token ring. Final point, 802.11. It provides standards for WLAN. We will discuss this standard in detail under WLAN section in the series. Well, our focus of discussion will be 802.3 and 802.11. We have discussed 802.3. We will discuss 802.11 standard later in the series. 802.11 deals with WLAN. Well, with this, I'm concluding these visuals. Well, we have discussed Ethernet in detail. If you feel any problem, you can just replay these visuals and be prepared for upcoming visuals. Thank you.